Welcome to the Exchange Trader channel. We are at Catterick today for the 3:30. It's a mile and a half handicap, and today's date is the 4th of October 2016 if you want to look at the form. Now, we have been following the race. We initially thought we might get a price on Astra Hall, which went up to 22. We were just waiting, hoping to go up a little bit further, but it's come back down in price. So we're going to switch our attentions to Corrigo. And this horse has reasonable form in this grade over this distance. And we've already taken a couple of bets at 30. So we put £2 in at 30 and then we matched it again slightly later and again at 30. Now don't forget, we are still on the tutorial for beginners. We've got a bank of £80. We've split that into £42 bets, and per race we're only going to a maximum liability of £16. So we've already taken 4 in the market, and we've got 12 left at varying odds, going from 32 up to 42. And you can see in the unmatched bets column that is the case: 32, 34, 36, 38, 40 and 42. So we're just going to hopefully trade early. We are about 3 hours before the race, so if we can get some decent bets on at this price, then as the race gets closer, this horse may well get backed in. It has the form, like we say, it has the form to win the race, and it's got a good draw in stall 3. So we're trying at the moment just to make the bets on the right side. We haven't put any lay bets in because I think the price might come down below 20. Now if it doesn't, then we can lay it off a little bit closer to the race in this region here and maybe play in running. So let's just see what happens over the next couple of hours. I'm going to turn the video off, obviously. We're not going to have a 3-hour recording, so I'll put the video back on when we've got some either interest in the bets or the price collapses. So you can see now that the bet at 32 has been taken for £2. That was through the audio alerts. So I have been doing other things while this has been going on, and the audio alerts have now told me that the bet has been taken. So we've got £6 on now, and as I said before, we're not going to put the lay market in just yet. We're going to wait to see what happens to the price. We've still got a couple of hours to race time. You can see the bet was taken at 1:30, and the race starts at 3:30. So we still have a couple of hours, and there's plenty of time for this market to drop quite considerably. So again, we're going to leave it as it is, and if anything changes we'll come back in and we'll explain what we're doing. Now you'll probably notice in episode 2 and this one that I've let the graph go quite high before putting the stake in. You'll also note that some of the other ones have gone quite high as well, like Jessica Joe has gone from 9.4 to 32. Now why am I not playing on Jessica Joe? Well, because for one, the horse has a bad draw in 13, and secondly, at present its form doesn't really match up. So it's had 3 runs in maiden company and it hasn't really performed enough to suggest that it's going to win this race. Now it is trained by Mark Johnson, is the bottom weight, it's a 3-year-old and it's stepping up in distance. So there's every possibility or likelihood that it will improve for this race. But because the form isn't strong enough, I'm going to leave it alone. Also you'll see Cloud Monkey. That's another one whose price has gone out. But again, I don't consider the form to be strong enough on this horse, so I'm not going to play at these prices. And if we move across, we've got Shalamzar, which is now up to 55. Now that is nowhere near high enough for this horse. It has been as high as 100, so if I was going to play on this horse, then I would wait till it went a bit further. So that's the reasoning behind why I am taking a stake in Corrigo, because like I said before, it does have the form to win the race. Now if you want to have a look at setting up the audio alerts, then you'll need to go back to episode 2 of the series, and if you're interested in setting up Geek's Toy as I have on the screen, then that's all explained in episode 1. So if you want to have a look at that, then do go back to episode 1 and get the display how we have it on the screen. We're 40 minutes away from the race now, and we've got the 34 taken, the stake at 234. So that means we've got £8 invested. Now I'm still not going to put in the lay stake at the moment, but I am going to, if the market gets up to 36, I'm going to start scalping these last four. So if it takes at 36, I'm going to put it in at 32. But the £8 that I've already got in, I'm going to lay it somewhere near 20 and 21 if I can do. Obviously if I can't get those prices, I will lay them slightly further up. So we're about 40 minutes away from the race, and we'll come back in about 15-20 minutes. The bet at 36 has been taken, and we're going to start the scalping process. Now it's unlikely that it's going to come down to these now. We're only about 25 minutes away from the race, so I'm going to start the scalping process with all the bets that we've put on. So we've got £10 invested, and I'm going to put £10 in on the lay side, and hopefully it will trade between these odds. 38 taken, and we're going to put it in at 34 on the lay side. So we've had the 34 taken, and now all we need to do is just put the 2 back at the top. If that gets taken, we put it back at 34. If the 32 gets taken, we put the bet back at 36. So that will be our plan of action for the next 15 minutes, and we'll see if we can build up a potential profit on Carrillo, and then it looks like we're going to have to lay it in running. Now because the market seems to be pushing down and we have laid £6 off, I'm going to take these £6 out of the market, and I'm going to put the £6 in here at 21. So we got a little bit more potential profit. If it doesn't get that far, we can always move it up a little bit, but I'm going to put it in at 21 because I think the market might push down. Now notice I say think, I don't know that the market's going to go down. We're going to play things as it happens, but that's probably the price that I would like to take. So we're going to leave it in there and see what happens in the next 10 minutes. Okay, we've waited for it to come down and it hasn't materialised, and you can see the market's going back up, so I'm going to put the scalping back in. So the £6 that we have invested, I'm going to put in there, and we're going to carry on scalping for the time being. If this side becomes weak and this becomes strong, then we may consider moving these down a little bit. So we're fully traded out of the market. We've got a potential profit of £36.10. We can hedge the market to win on any horse, but that's not really enough. That's not what we're looking for. So I have put back in the stakes because we're still about 9 minutes away, and I want to play up to the 15-minute mark, the 5-minute mark. So we'll see if it gets taken again, but at the moment we've got £36.10 to play within running. We've reached the 5-minute mark from the race, so we're going to get out. We're going to leave the £36.10 in the market, and we're going to try and trade in running. Now we did something similar in the second episode, and we were about 3 points off making 10% on the bank. So this time we're going in a little bit lower down the prices. I would have liked to have been able to put the price in at 10, but because we hadn't made enough on the trade and the potential profit's not high enough, we're going to have to put it in lower down if we want to make the 10%. So I'm going to look for a figure that gives me £8 profit on the race, and that figure is at 4.4. So I'm going to put the 8.5 in. Don't forget we're paying commission, and you can see on the green that's what we will win if the horse reaches 4.4 in running. So I'm going to put that in, and then right click and in play keep, and again you can see the K coming up in the unmatched bets. So in episode 2 we made the trades, but we made them quite late on. This time we made or built up a stake quite away from the race time, Unfortunately, it didn't go to the price that we wanted, so we had to resort to the scalping method. Now this is going to happen quite a lot, where you've got a stake and you're playing and running, and obviously it's in the lap of the gods now whether that price will get taken. So you can see we've built up the price, we've laid it off without being too greedy, and now we have a chance of winning 10%. If we don't win, then obviously we're not going to lose again. If it does come down to that price, then we've increased the bank by 10%. So we'll just pause the video and we'll wait till the race is in motion. Now as we got closer to race time, the price on Correggio is actually collapsing, so we can hedge the market and we can take the profit, which is what I'm going to do. So we're going to take, if it comes back to 15, then I'm going to take the profit and hedge the race. And this means that you can win on whatever horse in the market wins. So we don't need to rely on Correggio. So I'm going to click that
Fully
number,
matched.
and as you can see, we're now going to win on the race. It doesn't matter what horse wins. That's only a small profit, but in relation to our bank, we have got 2.5% in one race. So 2.5% of the bank has been won on one race. Now if you got that kind of return in the bank, you'd think you were doing very well. So that's just one race. We probably do 2 or 3 races a day. This is just one example of how to make the stake, how to lay it off, build up a potential profit, and then if the price does come in, we can lay it off and win on the horses, whatever the result. So it doesn't matter now, we can watch the race knowing that we're going to win. And the race is now off. So 1 mile 4 furlongs. When we get to about here, we've got 6 furlongs left, and it's been interesting to see if Correggio does actually go under 4 in running. Its price is contracting, which means it's probably up with the pace. So still early, probably about 2 furlongs gone. Down to 11. Remember, it needs to go to round about 4 if we had kept the bet in, but we haven't done. We've cashed out and made sure that we've won on the race irrespective of the result. So 10.5 is the lowest it's been at the moment. 9.4. Trading roughly at its starting price. 15, 16, just slightly going out. Still round about the same mark. We've got about 5 furlongs left in the race. Higher figures just starting to creep in. So 22 there. And now we're getting down to the business end. And it's gone below 4. So we would have won £8 if we'd have kept the bet in. On this occasion we didn't. It briefly went below 4, so that was round about the price that we had in the market, and we would have won a little bit more. But you see, the horse hasn't won. The top weight Henry Smith has won the race. So we've made a profit even though the horse didn't win, although it did get below 4 in running, and we would have won 10% on the bank if that bet would have been kept in. So that's episode 3 of the tutorial. Don't forget, this is a basic tutorial for beginners playing for low stakes. If we'd have put our stakes in at 20, we would have had a profit on the race of £20 before the race set off. So thanks for watching, and hopefully you'll join me again for episode 4, where we'll look at some other strategies.